A lot of people who are ready for divorce don't move forward with it because they don't know how they're going to pay for it. And the unfortunate thing is that can cost them more in the long run. I'm Vanessa Vasquez, founder of the Vasquez-Lara Law Group, and my 20+ years of practice, I've seen this issue come up a lot. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through some of the most common and creative ways to pay your initial retainer and start the process, which is usually the biggest barrier. The reason you don't wanna let that barrier get in the way is that you don't know what might happen in the future. If you are sure that divorce is the only option for you and your family, things like alimony, child support, and the value of assets could all change in the future. There's no guarantee that your spouse's income will be the same in the future, and no guarantee that the stock market and housing prices will be up when you decide enough is enough and figure out how to pay for it. And if you have retirement accounts, there's a good chance that your spouse is going to be entitled to half of it. So why keep growing something for them for another year or more? I want to help you figure out how to get started right now. First, let's talk about the budget. Generally speaking, you're going to need about $5,000 to start your divorce. That will cover your initial retainer and court costs. That's not a guarantee though. Sometimes our retainers will be more, depending on what is happening in your specific case. But that's a good general number to budget for. What it will cost after that is going to be completely dependent on your specific situation and how difficult the divorce is. But generally speaking, by that time, your case will be filed and you'll have all your own separate accounts that won't be considered marital. So where do you come up with the $5,000 to get started if you don't already have it saved away or have access to the marital accounts? The first place we recommend is to go to friends and family. I know it can be really awkward, but these are the people who care about you the most. And while some may be in a situation to just give you the money, typically this is more of a personal loan. When the divorce is finally settled, there's often a payout for marital assets, like the sale of a house, and you'll be able to pay them back. Chances are, even if you haven't already told them, they probably know something is up in your marriage and will want to support what is best for you. But what I don't recommend is doing something public, like starting a GoFundMe account. People do it all the time, but not only can putting it all out there for the whole world to see make things incredibly messy in the divorce itself, but it also makes it painfully obvious to the other side how much money you have or don't have to actually fight the divorce. And there are absolutely lawyers out there that will fight just to drain your accounts and have to take a settlement. The next option, sell some stuff. I'm not talking about big assets. I'm talking about things your spouse isn't likely to miss. Just be careful with this because a lot of your stuff is going to be marital assets and that can complicate things. Things like old jewelry or baseball cards you had before the marriage are going to be your best bet. If they're things you got after you were married, they technically belong to both of you. We may have to balance that value out later, but it is possible. Just stick to things that were essentially yours. Things like your handbags or your old set of golf clubs. Just don't go selling her handbags or his golf clubs. That can cause even bigger problems down the road. The last two options to pay for your divorce aren't my favorite because they do end up costing more, but they are possibilities. One is dipping into retirement. Again, those funds are likely marital, and there's a chance part of what you take out will have to be paid back to your spouse. But the bigger issue is the penalty you have to pay for taking retirement funds out early. That's an extra 10%. However, that may be cheaper than the last option, which is to put it on a credit card or take out a personal loan with a bank. Those interest rates can be high, so while I sometimes recommend someone start a new credit card in their name to have immediate access to funds, if there's a way to pay it off immediately, either by selling some things or borrowing from friends and families, that's the best bet. Ultimately, there's a lot of other creative ways I've seen people pay for divorce, like driving Uber or taking on some other side hustle. But those are generally more applicable when you've already separated and the divorce is in process. The biggest issue people have paying for divorce is how to get it started without their spouse knowing. And if that's the situation you're in, I hope these options have been helpful. We can help you talk through them and come up with a plan that will work for you. And if you want more information on how much a divorce will cost, how to keep those costs low, and how things like assets and debt are divided, I have a whole playlist of videos that dig deeper into those subjects. That link will be in the description. Until then, I'm Vanessa Vasquez, founder of the Vasquez-Lara Law Group, where we make lives better in and out of family court.